Hey, so, um, hi. I know my channel's been dead, but there's an issue. Um, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about something called the EXE community. It's an iffy place. There's a few people here and there, and they make a lot of stuff, and people put passion and time into their projects because it's something that they really like to do. Now, um, as you can see by the title, let's talk about someone called Fanon Proxy on Discord. Now, Fanon Proxy seems like your average guy on the internet. He's kind of just there at the same time. He's a little off, but like he's just there. Well, recently he's been getting a little more on the deranged side, and I'm not sure of the reason. I have my theories, and those theories would piss me off if they're actually real. But the point is, this person has not only been gathering an army, not only has he been possibly spreading misinformation and hurting innocent people with spam attacks and just posting really obscene stuff, but he's going on to these pages. He's going into these people's hard work and he's just destroying it. He's destroying it. He's vandalizing, as we call it, and he's creating pages with very explicit stuff that children do not need to view because a lot of minors happen to be in this community, and I don't think it's really a good idea to have to be creating a bunch of pages with just porn. And it's not just porn. It's gore, like really detailed gore, or so I'm hearing, and child porn. And you know that's a big no-no. That's a really, really big no-no. Really illegal stuff. And he's now he's not the one doing it himself, at least on his main account, but supposedly he's creating a bunch of alternative accounts and doing all of this. Like, there's been a series of spam attacks by like a couple people. Um, if I can get the tweet, hold on. Now, the tweet that's been posted, there's these two people called EXE Stingray and EXE Manta Ray, and supposedly when they were talking with a friend of mine, I consider them a friend, they were saying they were a part of a group. Now, it's been suspected that these accounts are, in fact, alt accounts. So, not only is this man just gathering a bunch of people and doing all of this, destroying people's hard work, hurting people, and just overall being the worst douchebag you could ever imagine. But it's all over probably something stupid. Because I recall when I have a server, right? So I recall when he was being a, a little bit of an issue in the server. Now, he's been dead naming my friend something that he doesn't want to be called, and the only reason that person, and Fanon, I mean, has been calling him that name is because, well, not only were they named such in his server, but his reason for doing so is because of his About Me. It says you can call him by two names. I'm not going to be saying those names for the sake of privacy, but he's just been harassing him with calling him that and basically disrespecting him. Now, of course, he gets muted because it's common sense to not do that, not dead name people when specifically they ask for it. But he goes to me and he asks me to unmute him. And so I'm like, well, that's not okay. I mean, you have a perfectly good reason to be muted in the first place. And then another issue comes up, like, after that, like, few days or something, or maybe it was something before that. Um, he invites a friend over to the server, and basically he starts spamming with this person, and overall, that's not okay. So essentially, I get all of this, and since this was during a time that really wasn't the best because I was in a bit of hot water, that's a different issue altogether. Um, I just said, you know what? I don't have time for this, and I banned him from my server. Now, of course, all of what he's been doing has happened after this fact. And so I am under the impression that because I banned him from my server, he's been doing all this. He's been gathering people, he's been and lying, he's been posting all this really nasty stuff. He's been basically ruining the reputation of this community, and it's probably all because of selfishness, you know? It's very fucked up stuff. And another thing I will mention is that another issue that's present, supposedly he's been also creating different wikis in spite of one wiki in particular. I'm sure you're all familiar with the continued wiki, and it's a really nice place. It's where I really got my start. You know, I posted on my stuff on there back then, and even though it's gone for reas reasons that are part of the hot water that I mentioned earlier, I've thought of it as a home. I mean, I'm blocked from it, but it's still my home, and to see this much harassment on it, to see this much carnage, and to see how many people have been affected by this little shit, it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid, it's childish, and downright, it's illegal. It's not just illegal, actually, but, like, it's just despicable because it makes you wonder what people are willing to do if they're not happy, what they're willing to do to get it back at someone because of an issue that seems so small to the other person that it shouldn't even matter. It makes you wonder how much a person is really willing to, do just for something so small. Now, I'm not really a big talker guy. I'm not really, the Penguin Z of the situation where I can just come out and say, "Oh, well, this guy, he does this shit and it's not okay." And I'm willing to admit that. But I can't stand the fact that these these coming and going weeks have just been countless, countless instances where the home that I feel the place that I feel at home in is being attacked. The people who run that home are being attacked. They're being called out for stuff that they aren't even doing. And the worst part is that people are willing to believe anything nowadays. And so if they see these fake docs of expo exposition, then it's gonna hurt innocent people. And I feel responsible for it. I feel responsible for it because if this truly is if all this is truly happening because I banned him from my server, not only is this really childish, but it's downright torture. It's downright torture. And so now I feel obligated to come out and try to the best of my ability to come and say, hey, this person isn't exactly who they say they are. That he isn't a good guy. He's a monster. Just I can't even find the word to describe him, and I'm just speechless. I'm truly just speechless. I figured that this was gonna be just a small issue and that it wouldn't matter, but clearly it does. It matters to him. So I'm making I'm making this stream for the sole purpose of getting people's attention. And no matter how much sense I make, no matter how little that sense makes, no matter what, I want to make this video to get it out there and set the score straight that these people, they're innocent. They're not the monster here. He is. Fanon Proxy is the monster in this situation. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being a pedophile himself because he talks a lot of smack about these people and how they'll call people out for not agreeing with them, but it's just this needs attention. This I know it seems like a small issue. I know it seems like it's too much to ask just to get like millions of people to listen to one guy who's trying his hardest to speak out about this issue and probably failing miserably, but these are actual people. They're people on the internet. Well, they're people. They're not machines. They're not soulless. They're actual people who are being hurt, who are being harassed, who are just getting constant stream of attacks against them, against their work, against the work that people trust them with, and it's all over something stupid. It's over something stupid, and you know that's what that's what bad people do. That's what bad people do, and it's time for everyone to wake up. It's time for everyone to see that not everyone's a good person. And on today, especially today, I want people, no matter how many there are, I want people to take a look at the Fanon proxy and say, you're a monster. What you did was despicable, and you shouldn't have done that. I really, really don't know what to say anymore. Fanon, if this gets around to you, I I have no words. I have absolutely no words except you're despicable. You disgust me. And what you're doing does not make you a good guy. You're you're not some god who can dictate what people believe or don't believe. You're not some savior who's standing up against people who are supposedly bad. You're a monster. You're hurting innocent people. And if this is because of me, then you should just come up to me right now and say it. Say it to my face. I don't care where you say it. I want you to come and face me. Stop hiding behind these alt accounts. Stop hurting the people who I care about and come and face me. Don't be a coward.